This episode of The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast post-show, is sponsored by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome into The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast post-show for episode 88. I'm your host, Expat, and I took the liberty of doing this post-show. I pre-recorded this post-show because I have some personal things that I want to get off my chest and some issues about what happened this past week in Texas at the elementary school where 19 children were gunned down along with 2 teachers. So this is something I really wanted to talk about, and I wanted to do it myself because I am, of course, the creator and the founder of the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast, and I wanted to say these, things that I'm about to say, and they are solely my personal opinions on this. I am not expressing opinions of my other 2 co-hosts, Burley or Burleman Gaming on Twitch or Turn-Based Carl. These are my opinions, so I wanted to throw them out there because it's really been weighing heavily on me, and I really wanted to get this out there. Particularly as you can see the image here about video games and mass shootings. There's a lot of politicians in the United States. Of course, as you probably know, if you don't know, I am originally from the United States. I'm from California. And yes, I am from San Francisco, which is a very liberal state, I have to say. But just hear me out here. This is not a political issue when it comes to what's going on with all of these mass shootings and with the handguns or weapons that should only, in my opinion, be in the arms and the hands of soldiers. I mean, weapons of mass destruction that just are for weapons of war that are only specified to kill. Yeah, I just want to say that this is not a political issue. This is a moral issue. And we have politicians. I'm not going to name any politicians' names. I'm not going to name any parties or anything, but there's a lot of politicians out there that are trying to turn this into an issue of these shootings are the cause of video games, like people with mental health issues. They played video games for many years. And that's what turned them into these killers, and to go and purchase a gun or an assault rifle and go and shoot up a school full of innocent children. But America is not the only country in the world that plays violent video games, like the Call of Duties and, the Battlefields and things like that. I mean, there's other countries in the world that play these games, these types of games, the Call of Duties, the Battlefields. We don't see these types of mass shootings there. Yeah. There are some countries that don't even allow their citizens to have firearms or handguns or assault weapons. We don't have those types of, mass shootings there. So I think to try to blame this on video games, I think is just wrong. What's going on here is the fact that there is a problem in the United States, especially. I'm only talking about the United States here in this episode, okay? Where the fact that the sense of individualism has gone way too far in the United States. I mean, another example was the coronavirus issue with masks. This staunch sense of individualism, like, okay, let's not think about the other people out there that we could protect by wearing these masks. Let's just think about ourselves. And it's like, no, I shouldn't have to wear a mask if I don't want to. I have the right to not wear a mask. It's the same situation with handguns and with assault rifles. With the Second Amendment, the second people hide behind the Second Amendment and try to, say, don't take our handguns away, don't take our guns away. Well, nobody's come to take your guns away. I mean, for years and years now, nobody's come to take your guns away. The fact of the matter is, you have politicians in Congress and in the Senate who will not pass legislation because they are backed by, like, say, the National Rifle Association and these lobbyist groups that write their checks and keep them in power. So it's not, they're making it into a political issue when people want to talk about this. But it's not a political issue, it's a moral issue. And these politicians are supposed to represent us, the people, right? And now we have another instance where 19 children have lost their lives. And in the sense of video games, they'll never ever get a chance to play a video game ever again. Never again. It's time for these politicians to think morally and get rid of their individualistic, thinking only about themselves and the power that they have, and thinking about their own families and thinking about other people's families and the people that are being lost because they're not creating legislation that should be out there. My personal opinion, I think guns should be banned completely. That's never going to happen. Of course, we have a Second Amendment. But there could be laws that should be made to ban assault rifles. I mean, we did have a ban on assault rifles, but then of course that was overturned, and now we're in the same situation we were. Background checks. We need to have full comprehensive background checks. I mean, this person who went into the school was 18 years old, couldn't even buy a beer. And he goes in on his 18th birthday and he goes and buys, he buys these assault rifles, AR-15s, and all this ammunition, and there was no background check. Yeah. But in the state of Texas, there's supposedly a background check on handguns. But then again, with long muzzled rifle, long barreled guns, there is no background check. So what's up with that? So mental health, yes. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why there should be a comprehensive background check for any type of gun in the United States. Because let's just take for an example. Say I'm 18 years old, but I have this, tendency to want to harm people, and I want to kill people. I don't post it on social media or anything. I just keep it to myself. And then on my 18th birthday, I go in and I purchase like a couple of AR-15s. Okay. Nobody knows that I have a mental problem. Nobody knows that I want to kill anybody, right? But then I get these guns and then I go out and I kill a bunch of kids in the school. That's what we need, these types of background checks and maybe psychological evaluations to go along with it, because without these types of checks, this is going to continue on and on and on. And then you'll have the politicians, they'll go out and they'll blame, it's all about mental health, or it's about video games and the violence in video games. But it's not just an American thing, it happens. There's mental health issues in every country in the world. People play video games in every country in the world. but not in every country in the world do we have these types of problems when it comes to the abundance of mass shootings that have gone on in the country, in the United States. Me personally, I grew up, I had a 357 Magnum, I had a 44 Magnum, I had a shotgun, I had a sniper rifle. My father and grandfather were in the Navy. My grandfather's friend was a sniper, and he took me to sniper ranges, and I got a sniper rifle license. And we had guns in our houses. My father locked up all of our guns, and he had a side job to reload bullets for his friends that used to go to firing ranges and to, do target practice. And I used to go with my father when I was in late elementary school and a junior high school. I used to go with him every Sunday to the firing range and shoot at targets. It was fun. I used to love doing that. But as I've grown older, I've seen that there still are a lot of responsible people that own firearms in this country, or in the United States. Because of course I left the United States. I am an expat, of course. I moved with my wife, who is Japanese, to Japan, you know. And as I've grown older and I've seen what's gone on in the United States, especially over the past 20 years, it's gotten to a point where without these comprehensive laws that need to be passed when it comes to background checks, possibly banning assault type of rifles like an AR-15. An AR-15 just it's a weapon of war. It's not a weapon that you should be able to keep in your home, really. That's just my opinion, but anyway, without these comprehensive checks, more and more of this, unfortunately, is probably going to happen. So anyway, and here at the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, myself and Burley of Burleman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl, my two co-hosts, we, of course, all of our prayers and thoughts are with the families of the students of the elementary school in Texas, as well as all of those, what happened in Buffalo and in California, and all of those who have lost loved ones due to these mass shootings. So our thoughts and prayers are with you all. So with that, I've been your host, Expat, and we hope to catch you in the next episode of the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. So take care, everyone. Peace out.